So, hello people. We are here with Mr. Deepak, who is the director of Thansiv Technology, and now he's going to explain us the process of PCB. So, from a scratch to a final product, he's going to explain us. Let's see what he has on us.
Hey, hi guys, this is Deepak from Thansiv Technologies. So I'm going to give you a brief of how PCB is getting manufactured at our factories in Bangalore. So here we have some of the displays of most of the processes in the PCB manufacturing. Here, these are the finished PCBs. The ones on the frame are the process, step-by-step process of how the PCB is being manufactured. So as you can see, the first is just the laminate. This is called the copper clad laminate, where you have epoxy resin or the composite material, the insulating material in the middle, and copper layers on either sides. So this depends on the thickness of the copper that is required. So the next process is drilling. So this is where we do the drills on the laminate. This drills is basically for mounting your components or wires or connecting either of the layers. So this is the CNC drilling. So this is just the normal drilling, the conventional drilling process. And buffing is nothing but preparing the surface for the next process. So we have a buffing machine and it's been rubbed on the surface to remove one layer of copper so that your surface is without bursts after drilling. So the next process is PTH. PTH is and flash plating. So PTH is nothing but connecting both layers of copper. You have insulating, as I mentioned earlier, in the raw material you have insulating layer. So connecting the top and bottom copper layer is through this PTH. PTH is nothing but plated through hole. And we flash plate with copper plating so that we strengthen the PTH. Next is the pattern printing. Different PCB manufacturer uses different methods. Some of them use dry film, but we use UV exposure ink. So what we do is we have an exposure ink that is being using the stencil, using the film printing machine. We put the ink or apply the ink on either sides, and we'll have to make a photomeasurable film against which a screen will be made. So this photomeasurable film will be placed on an exposure machine where it will be aligned with this, and that film will have these tracks. So once it is being exposed to UV or LED, you will have tracks like this visible, but this visibility will be only after you develop it. So we have a developing machine. It will be exposed like a Xerox machine will be exposed. Later it will be sent into a developing machine where you will get the result like this. So after pattern and expose, we'll send it again to plating to superimpose the remaining copper wherever tracks are needed. For example, the raw material will have 18 base of copper. The customers might require 35 base of copper, so that is around 1 ounce of copper. 1 ounce of copper. So basically, we'll plate more copper into it, and then we'll also tin plate it, and then send for ink stripping. So once it is plated, it's sent for ink stripping. Then we send it for etching, where the unwanted copper, that is wherever apart from the tracks, are removed using an etching machine. So as you can see, wherever copper is there, you have the tin covered the copper that is available, and wherever there is no coppers, you can see the exposed laminate. So this basically will give you the tracks and the conductivity on the PCB. Next is the masking. Masking is nothing but coloring the PCB. At what base color do you need? So this will also have a film against which a screen will be made. Again, the same process of expose and develop will be taken care here. So once the masking ink is applied, the film is aligned, and then you have masking ink applied and sent to the exposer machine. Again, it is being developed in a developing machine. You get wherever the pads are there, the mask ink will be removed and the pads will be exposed for soldering. And wherever, based on the customer design, wherever mask has to be covered, the ink will cover the tracks. So after masking is done, we send it to a process called HAL or hot air leveling. So that is where we cover the exposed copper surface with lead. So this improves the solderability. It's basically a dip. We have a lead bath and it is being dipped. The PCB will be dipped and it runs around a temperature of between 180 to 200 degrees, where the PCB will be dipped into lead bath, a molten lead bath, and taken out. And it will have air knife blowing so that it will have a flat surface and good finish and adorability for soldering. Improves the solderability. So once HAL is done, we send it for LP or legend printing. Legend printing is nothing but naming the PCBs or designators on the PCB. For example, you have to you can put the logos, as you can see the images, or where what resistors. Basically, naming the PCB or identifying the components on the PCB where what has to be soldered. So once LP or legend printing is done, we also send it for testing, basically fly probe testing. So that's cannot be, it will be the same. This will be sent to a testing machine where you will have probes that will measure, that will go touch different pads and will check the conductivity, connection, open shorts, if there is any track cuts, all those stuff. So that will be done. Once testing is completed, if everything is okay, it will be sent for routing. Routing is nothing but similar phase of drilling where you have, if there is any profile needs to be cut, so that will be done in a routing machine. And later it's all the finishing parts. Maybe if there is V scoring or if there is any minor finishing cleaning, so that is all regular process. So this is some of the important steps or basic steps in manufacturing a PCB. Yeah.
So that was a great explanation, sir, from your side. Thank you so much. We'll be so happy about that. And if time allows, we could also come to your factory directly. We can see all the processes that you explained theoretically here. Thank you for being a sport. Thank you so much.